I'm Dave Magid from Minnesota Legal Assistance. I'm going to talk to you today about re-aging. Okay, this is one of the more common credit reporting errors, and it has a huge impact on people because re-aging changes when information becomes obsolete on a credit report, otherwise colloquially known as dropping off the credit report. Okay, so re-aging would result in something that would otherwise drop off, so negative information, so information which, you admit it's wrong, it's not wrong, it's something that got charged off, it should have, you just couldn't meet the expectation of the creditor, and sure, you kind of did your time with your lower credit score, but, life moves on, and eventually you're forgiven for it, and, 7 years later, that should drop off your credit report until it is re-aged. When the re-aging occurs, it pushes out the date that it would drop off your credit report. So something that would otherwise drop off your credit report now is still on your credit report because it has been re-aged. Re-aging is illegal under the FCRA. Okay? In fact, it specifically violates the provision against having obsolete information, specifically information older than 7 years, on your credit report. So it has a really big impact on people, and I think it's one of the most it is one of the most common credit reporting errors, and probably one of the least litigated in terms of the number of people out there that have this problem going on that aren't doing anything about it. You have an opportunity to really increase your credit score by taking care or by calling out these re-aged accounts and assuring that stuff drops off in a timely manner. And, as a consumer lawyer and a fairly ethical guy, I like this a lot because this is a very ethical and valid way of removing derogatory information, true derogatory information from your credit report and having a noticeable score increase based on simply following the law and demanding that others do it. This is a huge area and it's under litigated, and I would encourage everybody to share this video and learn a little bit more about re-aging. Minnesota Legal Assistance functions principally, and one of the reasons I started it was to help individuals in lower income communities get a fair and accurate credit score, as is their right. And I think in doing that, you're able to really change people's lives and allow them to, get a nicer car, get a car that can get you to a new job or an apartment in a different area, or perhaps buy a house, one of the biggest generators of wealth in our country. So re-aging, huge deal, and I'll just ever so quickly go through kind of what re-aging is. How do you calculate when a debt should drop off the credit report? It's from the date of the change of the last legal status of the debt. Okay, so the point that it was charged off by the creditor, that is a change in the legal status, right? It went from a valid account with the creditor to a charged off account. That is a change in the legal status. It is now delinquent, and it's marked on that date of delinquency as a different legal character, and that would start the clock ticking. That starts your 7 years ticking. Now, it would not be a change in the legal status of the debt if it was sold to a collector. But almost universally, I see on these credit reports that when it goes to a collector, they re-age the debt from the date that the collector obtained the account. So that's just flat wrong, and it's not okay to do that. And that collector's account must drop off at the date when was 7 years after the date of charge off, not after the 7 years after the collector obtained the account. That's ridiculous. You could wait 6.5 years, then sell it to a collector, and then it would be 7 years from that. So this debt, is 13.5 years on your credit report. Not okay. Doesn't work like that. Yet you see that almost universally. Now, one key point that I want to make before closing here is that bankruptcy is a change in the legal status of the debt. Okay, so if you've got a debt that charged off in 2010, you would expect that debt to drop off in 2017, unless, of course, you declare bankruptcy in 2016. You declare bankruptcy in 2016, that you've now changed the legal status of that debt. It will reflect as zero, and it will potentially in the short term increase your credit score because now you don't have a debt anymore. But now that is an account that was charged off in bankruptcy that will remain on your credit report 7 years from the date of that bankruptcy, which then is 2023. So now you've taken something that was that was charged off in 2010 and you've brought that out 13 years. So that is a very common misconception, and it's an implication of bankruptcy, and one of the many reasons that you will, re-aging, and when accounts drop off, that is one of the many reasons I would encourage you to go talk to a consumer attorney before you consider bankruptcy, and certainly talk to a consumer attorney and certainly talk to us in particular if you have information that is on your credit report that is older than 7 years, and you believe that it's older than 7 years since the last legal statusing of the debt. Again, we're Minnesota Legal Assistance. We're out of Hopkins, Minnesota, and our goal is to increase in an ethical manner the credit reports or the credit scores of individuals in low to moderate income communities. And we're working hard to do that every single day. So we would encourage you to stop in, call, reach out to us, and team with us to hold their feet to the fire and litigate this type of case. Thanks a lot.